So with muzzle conditioning, the first thing you want to do is make sure the dog is comfortable putting their muzzle or their nose inside the muzzle. There's two ways to go about that. So what you can do is you can take food, place it at the bottom of the muzzle, and present it to the dog so that they'll put their nose into the muzzle and grab some of the food. That'll start to get them comfortable with putting their nose inside. What I like to do for this first step, I call it the bucket method, is you can take a dish rag or a small towel, wrap it around the muzzle to help close it off, and it essentially just turns this into a food bucket. And then what we'll do to start is I'll drop some food into the food bucket, and then I'll just present it to the dog, and they'll reach in and eat some of the food. So the entire process for muzzle conditioning should take around 7 to 10 days, and you should do this. Short, brief sessions are going to be better. So you can do it during natural meal times, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. If you have 5 or 10 minutes in your day, you can do this, and it essentially becomes a game, like any other trick or behavior. Okay, so once the dog is comfortable reaching into the muzzle, putting their nose into the muzzle, we can start to build duration and put a marker on it. So what we'll do is I'll put food inside the muzzle, like so. The dog puts their nose into the muzzle. I can mark that with yes, and then I will also feed them outside of the muzzle, okay? So the dog is getting fed twice. Once inside the muzzle, that's for the to build initial comfort. We're gonna capture this with yes, and then we'll also reward outside of the muzzle, okay? So that way, throughout this conditioning process, I can start to take this reward away, and yes, and reward outside of the muzzle, okay? So in the beginning, we're rewarding inside. That's to entice and incentivize the dog to get comfortable going in for the food. And again, you can use the bucket method or feed from the bottom, like so. And then what you can do over time is start to present the muzzle, and if with no food, and then if the dog reaches in, even the slightest curiosity or momentum into the muzzle in the beginning, any approximations, we'll say yes, we'll capture that, and then reward, okay? You can also start to put a prompt onto the behavior of putting the nose inside the muzzle. So I can present the muzzle and I can say muzzle and start to cue that behavior, okay? Over time, and again, this should take 7 to 10 days. Over time, I will start to build duration. So I can say muzzle, good, yes, and then reward. Muzzle, good, yes, and then reward, okay? So over time, I'm slowly getting the dog comfortable with it staying on longer and longer. In the very beginning of conditioning, you want to reward the slightest momentum forward. And then over time, as the dog gets comfortable, we're going to move our goalpost and raise our expectations. Okay? Once the dog is comfortable and I can put a prompt on it, I will say muzzle, dog goes in, we can work on duration. Now I can start to desensitize the straps, okay? So, and again, we're breaking this process down into small, bite-sized incremental steps, okay? So step 1, can you go into the muzzle? Step 2, can you hold it on your nose? Okay. Step 3, can I touch the strap, or is that off-putting for you? Okay. So over time, we'll do duration, and then I'll touch a strap. Yes, reward. Muzzle, touch a strap, maybe start to move it. Yes, reward. Muzzle. Okay, I'm moving it longer and longer. Maybe this time I'll wrap it over the head. Yes, reward. Okay. I'm not just tricking the dog or putting it on and then clipping it one day, okay? Then I'm violating the dog's trust in the rules of the game. I want to work the dog up comfortably. Yeah, muzzle. Let me get my other strap here. This would be like another step, or moving our goalpost farther. All right, so in the beginning, we started with the straps folded back, okay? I'll slightly change the picture over time as the days progress. Muzzle, okay? Now we've been working on this left strap. Can I touch the right strap? Yes. Reward. Muzzle. Okay. Then I'll clip. Maybe I'll just touch the clips together. Yes. Reward. Muzzle. Okay. And then even on this initial buckle, I'll buckle and then immediately take off. Yes. Reward. And then I can slowly start to reward and build duration for wearing it. Okay. So like in the beginning, give me 1 to 3 seconds, okay? Can you give me 3 seconds? Great. And in an hour or so in our next training session, can you give me 5 seconds? Can you give me 10 seconds, okay? And then as always, if you guys have any questions or concerns about your muzzle conditioning, feel free to submit a video of your training sessions and I'll be happy to review them, help you troubleshoot and see what's going on.